Update: cousin just casually dropped off her kids on our porch to go on a cruise. Original post: I won't make this post long. It happened just a few hours ago. My girlfriend and I do not have kids, so we have extra free time, as we are always told by my cousin, who has 4 kids, all minors. She had been joking around lately, saying we should take care of the children, all of them, because she booked a cruise with her new boyfriend. We didn't pay any attention to it because it sounded absurd, and we just laughed along with her. We both have an extra day off since it's a long weekend, and we heard knocking on the door at 7 a.m. We knew it wouldn't be the postman, as they don't arrive that early, and we weren't expecting any visitors. I went down to check who it was, and saw my cousin's 4 kids standing outside in the cold, with their mother nowhere in sight. I opened the door and brought them in, because it was freezing outside and they had no jackets on. I then asked where their mother was. They said she told them that we would take care of them while she was on her cruise, so they took the bus and came to our house. I couldn't believe my eyes and ears. I kept thinking, what? I called her immediately, but her phone was off. I called her new boyfriend, and his phone went to voicemail. I asked the kids to explain exactly what their mom told them. They said, she said since you don't have any responsibilities and have free time, you said you will look after us while she's gone. What do I do? I called my aunt, and she said the same thing, that my cousin told her I agreed to take care of the kids. She didn't even have the courtesy to drop them off, and instead made them catch the bus on a cold winter day. I'm thinking of calling child services at this point. Now for the top comments before reading the updates. Your aunt must know what cruise they are taking. Have her contact the ship and let your cousin know that her kids are going into the foster system. Yeah, this is the best route, I think. If she at least dropped them off herself and asked nicely, maybe, just maybe, we would have considered it. But it's freezing right now in Australia, and she made them catch the bus. This is not cool at all. Call your aunt back and give her the choice. Either come and get the kids and take care of them herself, or you're calling CPS. I will call my aunt to have her call the cruise ship and tell my cousin that if she gets on that cruise, I will be calling child services. Keep us posted, but it will be funny as heck hearing their names on the loudspeaker while the cruise is just getting warmed up to party. I think they pay extra to be airlifted off the boat, so don't fall for the "I'll come get them when we get to the next port" story. Mini update. Cops have arrived at my door with DOCS. I did not call them. We'll update shortly. Now for the first full update. Alright, here's what actually went down a few hours after my cousin's kids showed up at our place. We were still trying to figure out what to do. Gave them food, put the heater on, got them settled. Still no word from their mom or her boyfriend, both phones going straight to voicemail. Then around 10:30 a.m., I get a call from a private number. It's the police. They ask if I've got 4 kids at my house. I said yes and explained the situation. Turns out the bus driver who dropped them off is the one who called it in. Apparently on the ride over, the kids told him they were going to stay with family and gave him our address. He thought it was odd that 4 young kids were traveling alone in the cold with no bags or jackets, so after dropping them off, he reported it for a welfare check just to be safe. A short while later, both police and child protection show up at my door. They were honestly great, calm but clearly taking it seriously. I told them everything, showed them the texts where my cousin had joked about us watching the kids. Nothing confirming anything. Explained how we had no warning and that they just showed up saying we'd agreed. The kids said their mom told them we had plenty of free time and would be happy to take them. Then about an hour and a half after that, police tell me they've gone to the cruise terminal and found her on the ship. This ship was in Circular Quay in the city, not too far from my place, and was scheduled to leave at 3:30 p.m. She had already boarded, ready to sail off with her new boyfriend. They pulled her off and told her she had to come immediately. No argument. She showed up at our house looking completely unbothered. Full cruise outfit, sunglasses on her head, lanyard around her neck. She didn't even look at the kids, just walked in and said, "Did you seriously get the police involved?" I told her she left 4 kids with no warning, no gear, and no contact info. She starts going off about how I embarrassed her and ruined her holiday. Then my aunt calls, her mom, yelling at me, saying I'd gone too far and that she paid for the cruise as a treat for her daughter, and I'd wasted her money. No concern at all about what actually happened. Meanwhile, child protection was taking a statement from me and telling my cousin this was a serious neglect issue and would be investigated. She didn't seem to care. She grabbed the kids, didn't say thank you, didn't apologize, just left like I was the one in the wrong. I tried to call my aunt and her a while after that to explain that I was not the one who called the police and child services, but they wouldn't believe me, and both have blocked my number. I'm so glad that all happened. I feel bad for your nibblings having a parent and grandparent like those. I honestly hope she ends up losing her kids. I am also impressed by the bus driver. Seriously, good going, bus driver. Sounds like the kids were familiar enough with the bus system that this is not their first time. How many other times have they been left to fend for themselves, and in what circumstances? Definitely needs investigating. I didn't know she lets them catch the bus like this. No supervision. It was bound to be found out, and I'm glad it happened sooner rather than later. Sounds like the trash took itself out. Feel really bad for the kids. This all the way, but OP, get your story out to family first before they send out their diluted version of it. Their version won't be diluted. It'll be straight out poisoned. Other than that, I'm with you. 100% OP needs to make sure the true story is known. Mini update. I will be posting on social media to all family members and relatives the true story of events, as they are trying to make it seem like I called the cops straight away as soon as the kids arrived at my house. I've already received a few calls from family berating me about this. Now for the second update. Didn't think I'd be writing another update, but this situation just keeps escalating. A couple of days after my cousin came to pick up the kids, after being dragged off the cruise ship, FACS got back in touch and asked a few follow-up questions. During the conversation, they mentioned they had contacted the kids' biological father and informed him of what had happened. I didn't even know he was still around. From what I remembered, he'd moved out to regional New South Wales years ago. I think somewhere near Wagga. Apparently, he's been paying child support and trying to stay in touch. But my cousin made it almost impossible. She would ignore his calls, block him, cancel visits, that sort of thing. Well, when he found out what she did, leaving the kids to catch a bus alone in winter and dumping them on our doorstep, he was furious. He drove straight to Sydney that same night. He came to our house the next morning. Genuinely nice guy, clearly shaken but calm. He said he just wanted to hear everything from someone who was there. We sat down and talked for a while. He asked how the kids were, if they said anything, and what exactly happened. You could tell he really cared. Then he told me straight up, he's going to apply for full custody. He said he's been documenting everything for years. The canceled visits, the excuses, the strange behavior when the kids did come back to him. And this was the final straw. Leaving them like that without even a message? He said he wouldn't let them grow up thinking that was normal. I told him I fully supported him. Those kids deserve stability. He thanked us for not turning them away and for taking care of them when no one else did. Then he left to speak with a solicitor. Now, onto something I didn't expect and honestly still can't believe. Our car was vandalized last night. All 4 tires were slashed. Nothing else was touched, just the tires. We noticed it this morning when my girlfriend went to head out. No note, no witnesses. Unfortunately, we don't have cameras installed, but we've asked neighbors if they have any footage from overnight. Can't say for sure who did it, but given the timing, I've got a few guesses, especially since a family member called us yesterday, blaming us for turning the family against my cousin. No proof yet, but we've reported it to the police just in case. Honestly, we're exhausted. We didn't ask for any of this. We just tried to do the right thing when 4 kids showed up freezing on our doorstep. The entire family is believing her version of the story. I'm thinking of compiling a Facebook post with all the information to prove what happened, as things are getting serious now. Call the cops and file a report. Let them know what happened. It won't do anything but help in the custody battle. I'm thinking it's the boyfriend. He looks a bit rough around the edges, and I've overheard once from her that he has a criminal history. Please get some cameras around your house right now. Even if you can only get one up, you need to make sure you're protected. Thank you for sticking up for these kids, and I'm really happy to hear their father wants to get custody. I would wait to post anything on Facebook until Dad wins his custody case. Where are the kids now? With her as far as I know still, but the FACS are building a case from what I gathered off the phone call. I'm pretty sure the dad will get custody. Third update. So, things escalated again, and fast. Last night, around 7:30 p.m., we got a knock on the door. My girlfriend opened it and just froze. Standing there was my cousin's eldest, 11 years old, alone in the dark, holding a small school bag. No jacket, no phone. He just said, "Mom told me to come stay here for a bit." We were stunned. We asked where the other siblings were. He said, "They're with her boyfriend." I didn't want to stay there anymore. When we asked why she'd let him leave, he said, "She told me to leave if I didn't like it there." So I did. We brought him inside straight away, gave him something warm to eat, and called the police. They showed up quickly, along with FACS. Because of the previous incident with the cruise, they treated this seriously right away. The boy told them things no child should have to say. He said his mom had been yelling all day, locked in her room, and no one was looking after them. He said he remembered how calm it felt at our place and just wanted to come back. Shortly after, FACS and police went to the house. We were later told the other children were removed, and my cousin was brought in for questioning. There's now an active investigation into neglect and abandonment. I don't know if it was guilt, pressure from FACS, or just everything catching up with her, but apparently she'd been spiraling since the cruise incident. Then this morning, my aunt, my cousin's mom, showed up at our door absolutely furious. She started screaming at us, saying I had destroyed the family, turned the kids against their mother, and stole her kids from her. She even yelled, "That cruise was the first time she was happy in years, and you ruined it because you don't like kids." We shut the door and reported it. Police advised us to keep a record and said we can apply for an AVO if it happens again. Later that afternoon, I got a call from the biological father's lawyer. He's officially pursuing full custody and asked if I'd be willing to provide a character reference and a statement about what happened, what the kids said, how they were when they arrived, and how we were involved. I agreed without hesitation. I didn't ask to be in the middle of this, but if it helps those kids get to a better place, I'm in. The thing that really stuck with us, just before FACS left with the eldest boy, he gave my girlfriend a hug and said, "You're the only people who made me feel normal." That hit hard. We're emotionally stepping back now, but we'll continue to cooperate where needed. We've learned the hard way that doing the right thing doesn't always come easy, but we don't regret opening that door. If anything major happens, I'll post again. For now, we're just trying to breathe. Those poor kids. We're doing the best we can. Our conscience is clear and hoping to keep it this way. I pray the father does get complete custody. Even if he does, I'd suggest you keep in contact with them. When they're older, they'll need to know about family medical history if nothing else. For now, it'd be good for you and them to have contact, so you know they're doing well and for them to know someone on their mom's side cares about them. Yes, when I was about 12, I was cut off by my mom, and consequently, my mom's entire side of my family. I'm 25 now, and while I have the ability to reach out, I've been separated from that side for so long that I don't really feel close to any of them anymore. All this to say, any family members, sane, safe family members that want relationships with the children should 100% reach out to the father or whoever has custody and try to connect. It will do nothing but help the children short and long term. Someone needs to say it. Thank you and your girlfriend for being good human beings in a deeply unpleasant situation, OP. I appreciate that, and it means a lot. When we read the comments, it brings us back to reality and helps us get through. Last story. Am I the a-hole because my wife and I won't let my brother's girlfriend teach our daughter about Wicca? My brother's girlfriend, who I will call Sally, recently brought up something that left my wife and me feeling very uncomfortable. Sally told us that she wants to teach our 4-year-old daughter witchcraft. She said she would like to teach her about energies, how they balance, and how to live in harmony with nature. She seemed really excited about it, like she thought this would be a fun bonding activity. While I can appreciate that Sally is interested in our daughter and genuinely wants to spend time with her, my wife and I had to put our foot down. We told her politely but firmly that we don't want her to do that. Our daughter is only 4, and we feel that this is not the right time for her to be introduced to anything that could be considered spiritual practice, especially one we didn't choose. Sally didn't take it well. She was clearly offended, and she made it pretty obvious that she thinks we are being unreasonable. She actually told us we were being a-holes, which honestly I don't care about. I'm not here to win points with my brother's girlfriend. What surprised me, though, was my own brother siding against us. He said that we should let our daughter learn about different religions and spiritual paths, and that exposure to new ideas would be good for her development. While I don't disagree with the idea of teaching our daughter about different cultures and religions, my wife and I want to do that on our own terms. We plan to teach her about Christianity, Islam, Judaism, paganism, and others when she is older, but we don't feel that a 4-year-old needs to be practicing paganism just to learn what it is. There is a difference between teaching a child about history and beliefs versus actively getting them involved in a belief system. The whole thing has made my wife really uneasy. She said she doesn't want Sally babysitting anymore because she's worried that Sally might try to teach our daughter witchcraft behind our backs. That was the final straw for my brother and Sally. They were both very offended by our decision and acted like we were overreacting. To make matters worse, my brother decided to bring it up to my dad, who is a staunch atheist and not exactly known for being delicate with his words. Instead of trying to smooth things over, my dad mocked Sally for her beliefs and called it silly voodoo nonsense. Now my brother is furious with my dad and refuses to talk to him. And somehow, according to my family, this entire situation is my fault because I started it. I honestly don't know if we are in the wrong here or if my family is just overreacting. Maybe it's neither. Maybe we just have a fundamental disagreement about boundaries and what's appropriate for a 4-year-old. Now for the comments. Sally can teach her own kids whatever she wants. You make the decisions for your own kids till they are old enough to make educated decisions for themselves. Right, it's really that simple. Parents decide what their little kids are exposed to, not a girlfriend who's only been around a short while. She can share her beliefs with her own future kids, but someone else's 4-year-old isn't her project. Your kid, your rules. 4 years old is way too young for someone else's partner to be introducing religious or spiritual practices, especially without your consent. If she wants to, she'll grow up and explore whatever she wants on her own. I think most non-Christians, myself included, would not want someone to come and teach our children Christianity. And the great majority of Christians understand and respect this. I don't see how this is different. Moreover, it sounds like this goes beyond merely exposing your child. She wants to teach your child that her views are the true ones. Not appropriate at all.